Welcome to FIRSTtalk, where we simplify super. My name's Andy and I'm joined by Daniela and Jayson. We're all from the financial advice team. And the topic today is the carry forward rule. Jayson, can you give us an overview of what is the carry forward rule?
Yeah, sure. So the carry forward rules recently introduced by the government refers to your pre-tax or concessional contributions, which are capped and limited. But what the carry forward rule allows you the flexibility to do is use your unused cap over the past 5 years and carry that forward into this current financial year. So it gives you a little bit of flexibility to go over that $30,000 cap and use your unused contributions in the past years to save yourself a little bit of extra tax.
So, I mean, we have spoken about this concessional contribution cap, and if you go to our salary sacrifice video, you see more information on that. But like everything, Daniela, like we said in our other videos, there's always rules. What's the rules around the carry forward rule?
Yeah, definitely. So the main one is your superannuation balance can't exceed $500,000 at the end of the financial year. And that includes any kind of superannuation you might have over different funds, as well as your pension account as well. So 500,000, that's the maximum that you can have to be able to utilize this carry forward amount. Another thing to keep in mind is if you are utilizing this particular rule, first thing you need to exceed that $30,000 concessional cap that we have this financial year before you will be eligible to start playing with the previous year's amounts. And it's not necessarily a rule, but ideally you'd want to earn an income to be able to claim the tax against it. Otherwise, keep in mind that whatever concessional contributions you'll be doing, that will be taxed at 15%. So it's kind of pointless to salary sacrifice or contribute additional funds being taxed at 15% when you don't earn a high enough income or you don't earn anything.
I mean, that's a very good point as well. I mean, we've spoken to some members that have retired and they may have an investment property, but technically they're not deemed to be employed. So this carry forward and this ability to make a concessional contribution doesn't actually exist for them anymore. So that's a very good point. You mentioned also about the 500,000. Is that if your superannuation balance, your total superannuation balance goes over 500,000 during the financial year?
So the 500,000 has to be as of 30th of June, the previous year.
Okay, so as an example of that, if your superannuation balance was below 500,000 as at the 30th of June 2024, suddenly the carry forward rule is available to you for this financial year around it all. All right, so sounds simple, guys, so to be. So let's talk about how we actually have utilised this strategy, this carry forward amount with some of our members. So Daniela, going to you first. I mean, you spoke with a member just recently and you looked at this strategy and put it in place. Can you just tell us more about that?
Yeah, a bit of more complex situation, but this particular member did receive an inheritance of $800,000, lucky unlucky. And he did already do a non-concessional contribution of $360,000, which again is the cap, and it's another rule that applies to it. So now he wanted to add more funds if possible. So what I did in his case, because his income is of $80,000, I've set up a plan for the future years to do just enough contributions utilizing this carry forward amount to bring his tax pretty much down to zero in the future as well.
All right, because I mean, that's a really good point. It's not so you've got to use it all in once. You've set up a plan for the next 5 years, reducing his income tax over that period of time, which is fantastic. So, I mean, for myself, it was something similar with the member that I was talking to. They actually sold an investment property while they were still working, and they really wanted to minimise their capital gains tax. So we actually looked at this carry forward rule and utilised a portion of that to reduce the income tax that is payable for that financial year. Then about 18 months later, he decided to retire. So he still had a residual amount of this carry forward amount, and we utilised that again to minimise his income tax for that final year of work that he did as well. So that's how we use it there. So it's not, again, going back to my earlier point, it's not you've got to use it all in the one go. You can spread it over 5 years, or you can use it at different points during your working career. And I guess, you know, leading up a little bit, you met with a member where it was a little bit different for them.
Yeah, he didn't quite have the flexibility to spread it across. So like Daniela mentioned, that $500,000 is key. And this member, he just ticked over 500,000, so he thought he was ineligible. But the key to it was that he had about 490,000 at 30 June the past year. So even though his balance was slightly over, he was still eligible for the carry forward rule. He did have a little bit of cash, so I said we need to just utilise this while we can, because next year you're not going to be eligible. So we put about $50,000 into super from his cash just to reduce his income tax and utilise that carry forward rule while he still had the opportunity to do so.
Rightio. So another good example of how it's used differently for suit the members' particular financial circumstances. So I mean, you know, we may have triggered a little bit of curiosity from our members going, oh, carry forward rule? Oh, this sounds good. Where do they go, Jayson, to find out this information?
Yeah, so the best source is the ATO. So the ATO MyGov website will have your individual carry forward amounts at the start of the financial year. So that's a good source. For the current financial year, their information is a little bit outdated in terms of what contributions you've put in. So definitely a combination of that for past years and then your super fund for current year in terms of getting that information from First Super.
All right, fantastic. And Daniela, any last thoughts around the carry forward rule?
I guess check definitely MyGov to see if you are eligible or you have any amounts there. And if your income allows it and your balance is under $500,000, take advantage of it. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Jayson?
It can get complex as well, so especially if you've used the carry forward rule before, the way the years drop off and how it gets applied is very complex, so certainly seek some advice on that.
Around there, because I mean again, as I think you highlighted before, it's a rolling 5-year period, and if you used it before, things are dropping off and coming back on again. From myself, again, the concept sounds relatively simple, but where our members are kind of like get a little bit lost, or where they're really kind of like reaching out for some financial advice, is about how do I use it best in my financial situation? How do I get the most out of it? What's the most effective way around it? And that's, to be perfectly honest, where the financial advice team comes into play. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about this, we do have some more information on our website. The ATO also has information around it. And like I said just a moment ago, if you really want to talk it through, then the financial advice team is available here for you. So until next time, take care.